I think if you told anyone a few weeks ago that we are going to see a V-shaped recovery of the S&P 500, I think they would have seriously doubted you and told you to go back to your crystal ball. But my oh my, what are we seeing right now? The S&P 500 is practically just trolling us at this point. For the past few weeks, as you can see if I go back to a year, there has been a steady decline in the S&P 500 with so many things going on around the world. And then when it seems like things are just going to get worse and worse, we have one of the greatest comebacks in recent history. If we look at this fund here, which is the iShares Core S&P 500, which is essentially the S&P 500 currency hedge, so it kind of moves up and down just like the S&P 500 does. If you go into Google, we can see that over the past week, the S&P 500 has risen by over 4.2%. This means that if you chose not to be invested during the dip, you would have lost on practically a year's worth of interest in a high interest savings account. Now, this is truly what they mean when they say time in the market pretty much always beats timing the market. And a lot of people have learnt that lesson quite a bit recently. Now, over the past year, if you look at the graph of the S&P 500, you would be looking at a ridiculous increase of over 35%. But what if I told you that something recently happened which puts all of this into question? Now, if you've been keeping up with the news, the reason why the S&P 500 made such a recovery was that the Strait of Hormuz, which has been closed because of the war that the US started against Iran, and which was responsible for around 20% of the globe's oil supply, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz led investors to be very optimistic about the future, basically, of the world's economy. But right now, as I speak, the Strait of Hormuz is apparently closed again. So how will all of this affect the S&P 500, and what are some of the lessons that we learnt from what has been happening over the past 2 years? So I'm using the Trading 212 app to show you these videos, and if you would like to sign up to Trading 212 and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, then all you have to do is to follow the link in the description box down below, or even scan this QR code appearing on the screen right now. Alternatively, if you've already signed up to Trading 212 over the past 10 days but have not received your free fractional share, then all you have to do is to press the 3 horizontal line menu over here. Then scroll all the way down until you see the section use promo code, and in this section just use the code JUBAIR and you should receive a free fractional share. So just before we start this discussion, I have to tell you that I have no idea where the stock market's going to go. I'm not insinuating anyone buys anything. I'm not insinuating anyone sells anything, and these are just my opinions. There's no financial advice here. I do get things wrong all the time, and I will get things wrong in the future. Okay, so with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, I think potentially there is going to be a lot of trouble. Now, is this going to translate into the S&P 500 going down on Monday or the following week? I have no idea. And from what we've seen so far, nothing seems to be moving the S&P 500 in any predictable way with any predictable news. So yeah, don't bank on it, don't place bets, don't short the market, don't do anything just based on this tiny tidbit of news. In either case, I think it's not possible to do anything right now because all of these news bits always tend to happen over the weekend where, stock markets are closed and people can't react to them anyway. Now, a 4.2% increase over the past week has been phenomenal. Yes, there's a possibility that, the closing of the Strait, further closing of the Strait, could lead to a reduction of the S&P 500. But come on, if you're a long-term investor, why does that matter? It really doesn't, because if you stay consistent, if you stay invested, then yeah, new highs are not impossible to be made. I am not going to tell anyone there's any sort of certainty of anything because that's not my position. I'm just someone who talks on the internet about personal finance and my journey in investing, which is different from everyone else's. But right now, it is very obvious that this war is not going to conclude anytime soon. And I don't know why we are actually surprised by that, because of course the US did full on just start a war with a country that controls 20% of the globe's oil supply. In addition to that, of course, the Russia-Ukraine war doesn't help things because a lot of crude oil around that region is also blocked off to Europe and the West. So things have been really, really bad for 2020. So since 2020, I think the world has been absolutely hammered, first by COVID, then by all these trade wars, then by the wars and everything. But look, This is the S&P 500. Over the past 5 years, which is actually 2021 and not 2020, but let's just use this, the S&P 500 is up by over 70%, which is phenomenal. That's over 10% on average a year, which is actually very not normal. If you look at this graph here, which is the past 30 years, we can clearly see that the first crazy rise happened at around 2015-ish, and then the second crazy rise happened after the pandemic. And this is not normal. We can go back even further and we can see that the S&P 500, actually even within this graph you can see, here we can see from 1996 to 2002, the S&P 500's up by less than 20%. You can see from 96 to 2016, so 20 years, the S&P 500 up by around 150-60%. So what we have seen recently over the past 5 years, past 6 years, is definitely not normal, and it doesn't really make sense economically how we are seeing such an increase in valuations. Is it because more money is printed? Is there actually more productivity in the system? Is there more money? I don't know. I'm not an economist. I can only ask questions. But it also coincides with the amount of people that are new to investing who have found out about passive investing, and passive investing has become very popular. Now, are these passive investors putting money into a system which is only really gone into the S&P 500? Any global fund has around 50 to 60% weighting in the S&P 500. So is all of this passive money just going into the S&P 500, causing all of this influx in valuation, even though there might not be any real increase in productivity or anything, useful in the economy? Well, that could definitely be an answer. And then, of course, in the past 2 or 3 years, it has been the AI boom, and that doesn't look like it's going to pop anytime soon. But the lesson really always boils down to the same thing, doesn't it? I don't know why I keep making these videos, 400 videos in. If you are a long-term investor, you don't have anything to worry about until you have something to worry about, which doesn't seem like you're going to be worrying about that anytime soon. And if you are a short-term investor, well then good luck. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.